Okay, so we've got a couple guys here on the call. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brodie Whitney. I am a professional coach, and I would just say a human being on this journey with you at a pretty amazing time of change and transformation and opportunity and challenge for sure. So Eddie, who's on the call, who's gotten sick in the last like 24 hours, it's hit him pretty hard. Just asked me, how am I doing? And I'd say my answer to that right now is I feel alive. I feel a lot of gratitude. In order to, and I feel a lot of energy. In order to be in this place at this time, I have, just like everyone on this call and just like everyone in these times, we all face our own fears. And I've had to confront those and make decisions that I feel good about. I'm sure anyone on this call can relate to confronting some fear, needing to make some decisions that are a little bit different than the decisions you need to make last week, right? So I would say, that it's really important right now for us to be making decisions that give us energy, that fuel us. And this is a great time to also, we're going to talk a little bit about core beliefs that drive our every decision and our emotions. This is a great time to look at what are the beliefs that we're encountering when fear or love or energy or a loss of energy happens. What are those core beliefs? And this is a great time to check in with those and to reshape your beliefs. We'll talk a little bit about that on this call. But I want to thank you for joining this call, and for everyone who's here and even watching the recording. My intention here is, sorry, I'm just shutting. I got people calling me. Just one quick sec. So my intention here is for you to get exactly what you need. You came here for a reason. Let's start there. Let's start with you getting crystal clear on what you're here for. Because maybe you just showed up. It looked like a good call, and some of you we've worked together before. Some of you are new, and maybe you just showed up just curious, and that's great too. But you are a creator in your life. And I'm seeing this more and more and more, how much of a role we each play in creating our life, creating our reality, and at minimum, creating what goes on in our heads, in our minds, in our thoughts. And it's like thoughts become emotions, which become actions, which become results in our life. So you want to start with healthy thoughts. So back to that, intention. What are you here for? Intention, I'd say, is a very simple and powerful way of setting a goal. You came here for something, whether you knew it or not, consciously. And when you bring that attention in right now to yourself, what is it that you really need from our next 53 minutes together that we get to spend here? What is it that you really need? You're guided here in some way, whether logically, spiritually, or other. What is it that you're here for? Can I get this will be an interactive call as well. So can I get a couple of you guys who are on the call, just share, what do you need from our call here today with this theme of turning fear into fuel?
Hey, Brodie, Kyle here.
Kyle, great to have you on the call, my man.
Yeah, good to see you again. Well, I'm going to be using this call to reestablish the points of fear that stop me from reaching my next level, that are stopping me from going for that next level of achievement, that next level of growth. And then I also want to, because they do say that people say that you know, fear of loss or fear of pain will drive you to avoid that pain. It's a great source of motivation and fuel. So I want to try and just I want to start thinking about how not reaching my next level of growth and development will cause pain, and kind of use that fear to spur that extra level of growth that I'm looking for.
Okay, awesome. Let's just address that right away. So as I'm listening, I hear that you are putting up walls in front of yourself on purpose, putting fear as something that's stopping you from getting to that next level, visualizing how not getting to that next level is going to feel if you don't, right? So would you say that, do you see that you're putting up these walls?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Why do we do that? And this ties right into our call here today, being that fear is a gift. You could just as easily be focusing on taking down these walls and moving forward, but you're not. And your unconscious is at work here, because what we don't know as a culture is that fear is actually fuel when we know how to work with it and how to harness it, just like you're doing. So an example, putting up walls in front of yourself and imagining what your life is going to be like if you don't break through to this next level. You know what that is. You have a vision for yourself. And we've worked together, right, to bring that vision to the surface and make it fully alive and awake. And now you're looking at the next level and going, holy moly, like, okay, I need to put another wall up in front of me to break through. Why? Because that's where we grow. When we get challenged, when fear shows up, when you want to talk about getting resourceful and grounded and bringing great leadership into the world and really showing up for the people who you love and for this entire world who's right now shut down, like, then we need some massive growth. And what better than, love is one way. Love is one where it doesn't need to be a wall. It's a source of fuel. But we all don't just feel love all day long. Fear shows up too. So we can use that. And Kyle, what I'd like to do on this call is go through a bit of a guided visualization, an exercise on how to transform fear into fuel. And I think it will help you with where you're at. So you've come to this call at the perfect time.
Perfect.
Does any of what I said hit home for you?
It does, yeah. Because, from our previous coaching calls, like I got that promotion back in last July. And the reason I hadn't applied for a promotion or for another job was because I feared that I wouldn't have the skills or wouldn't develop the skills necessary. And then, I kind of broke through that wall. And here I am, not even 8 months later, and I'm kind of already thinking like, all right, I've already learned most of what this position entails, and I'm kind of getting bored with it. So, like, okay, what's the next step? Where am I going after this? And I hadn't even thought or planned that far ahead. So
cool. Well, let's just say that with all the changes in the world right now, our own personal hero's journey has not come to a halt by any means. In fact, I'd say for all of us and consciously most of us, it's right here, very present, right in our face, right on the table for us. So let's get another share. Who else is on the call, and what do you need from our call here today?
Ed is here. So
Ed, good to have you here.
yes, sorry for my voice. I'm kind of a little sick, but I'm gonna try to share. And for me, fear, I don't know. It's for me, fear is everyday motivation to get through, to expand myself, and I'm looking different in fear. Fear to me, what powers me up. It's like opposite. It fuels me up, makes me grow, expand my business. And without that, I wouldn't survive. Every day I waking up, and of course everybody has fear, but for me, first thing in the morning, it's like I'm wondering how to go through, how to be better, and that fear keeps me alive.
I love
So
it.
yes,
Has this always been the case for you?
no,
What
it,
shifted? When did that shift for you?
uh, after like I know you, Brodie, for like I think already 2 years, right?
Yep.
That's when it happened. My life went like almost 360 degrees. I changed my thinking. I changed the view in life. Like I'm not judging myself anymore. Like what is on me, like I'm totally okay, and like just you helped a lot to see the life in a different way, and I'm so proud of that and so thankful.
Wow. I'm super grateful for that too. I'm glad that I could pass that along. That's been given to me as well from my own mentors and coaches and important people in my life. That's beautiful. Super cool. And just always inspiring to watch. I mean, it's been very inspiring to watch you grow, Eddie, and take leadership in your business. To see someone go from 70K revenue one January to 1 million revenue the next, that's pretty freaking inspiring, and that takes real leadership. And now
I
just
hit this year, I want to share, I hit this year 6 million.
are you serious?
Yes.
Dude, that's the power of leadership right there. And we installed some systems, and I mean, it's all about follow through. You followed through on it. And like you said, fear is everyday motivation. That's definitely quotable. It is. It shows up every single day. Question
Yeah.
is, what do we do with it? Okay, so super glad you guys are on the call. Let's dig in here a little bit. I want to let you know that what inspired me to get on this call, the real impetus for me is we're running a Kickstarter campaign right now for Facing Dragons. Facing Dragons is a startup that I've been working on for several years from the point of vision, and really over the last year have built a team around it. There's 7 of us working on this, and it's a mental health and career pathfinder game to help people unlock their purpose and empower the next generation of leaders. I won't talk a lot about it, but I do want to say that it's been the impetus for this call. And we are in a Kickstarter funding round right now. We opened it up yesterday. In the first 24 hours, we got over 40% of our funding goal, which is amazing. And we have just, yeah. Anyway, at the end of this call, what I'd like to do is bring it up on the screen, share with you guys a little bit about what you're doing. And if you got some value from this call, just give you an opportunity to contribute and support this mission. Wouldn't you say that right now people are needing virtual mental health and mindfulness support? Wouldn't you say that right now we're at a time where we really depend on true leadership and self-leadership, and not only leaders at the highest levels, but also in our communities? So this is what our game is about. The other thing that inspired me is that doing these kind of calls, like just like you guys, we all want to take what we learn and how we grow, and we want to share it with the people around us. This is fuel for me. I mean, just a simple form of fear is the half hour before this kind of a call starts. It's kind of uncomfortable, and I'm human too. And then to just be able to get on this call, break through another wall and show up and give and pass on what's been given to me, it grows inside myself, and hopefully for you guys on this call too, that sense of inner leadership and inner growth is expanding for you as well.
Well,
So,
hey, Brodie,
hey, is this Gabe?
you got him. That's right.
Brother.
How you been?
Oh, it's good to hear your voice. I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
You know, I'm doing fantastic, man. You told me a long time ago, fear is excitement without breathing.
You got it.
And,
Everyone take a nice deep breath right now.
you know what I'm saying? Like that 30 minutes before those butterflies, flying, it's no different than doing a video or doing anything that you want to do. The butterflies that we had before our coaching session, going in and being prepared. And I think, you deliver a great message, not only to kids that you've done over the course of your career, and all the people that you touched in your coaching career and your life. I mean, the energy that you bring to the table is completely and 100% beneficial to anybody that comes across you. So, it's just a blessing to one. I want to be on this call for selfish reasons. Obviously, I want to learn more.
Good. Give yourself the gifts.
Exactly.
We got to get over this selfish thing. Like, there's a reason we're in isolation right now. It's time to give to ourselves. It's time to go inward. It's time to figure out who we want to be. What's the growth we need? How resilient and resourceful are we in times of challenge? Dude, this is the time to care for, support, believe in yourself. There are going to be, when we really tune into our truth and where we're guided to be and how we're guided and meant to show up in the world, we are going to, the people around us will challenge us. That's life. And so this is the time to really tune in, go inward, figure out who you want to be, and anticipate, expect, and give thanks and love the people around you when they think you're crazy, or when they think it's not a good decision, or they think you should do something different. It's a time to really be selfish in a positive way.
Certainly, and you have to show vulnerability. I mean, that's a huge strength in showing people that you're vulnerable so that they can allow themselves to do the same.
Yeah, awesome. How are you being vulnerable right now, Gabe, in your life?
Myself, I'm just in this time of crisis in the food industry, especially in the produce industry. The food service sector has dropped off like 60%, with all the restaurants being closed and things of that nature. So it's more of being a beacon of positivity and understanding that, this time shall pass as well. This is probably it's an uncertain time, and people are looking for certainty within those uncertain times. So in order for you to be a leader, you have to step up and show positivity and remain calm in the eye of the, be the eye of the storm, and really show some leadership that, you can take back, evaluate things and not react as a knee-jerk reaction, and basically, offer some guidance that you've been through in your life.
Beautiful. That's awesome. I love it. Be the eye of the storm. For me, it's been being a lighthouse, being a sanctuary for myself and the people around me. These are core beliefs we're talking about right here. And it relates exactly to what I was saying. What I'm about for you. Who are you here to become? And how can you use this time to be preparing and cultivating that exactly, who you at this next level. So I want to talk a little bit about intention. You guys have tuned into what you're here for. Thanks for sharing that. And I also want to share something that we created the situation here on this planet right now. We literally prayed for it. We asked for it. What do I mean? Well, hey, the war has ground to a halt. People aren't fighting anymore. Did any of you ask for that? I certainly did. What about time off work? Any of you guys been asking for time off? A little break? What about a need for leadership and people to step into more of a service mindset in our world? What about deeper connection and appreciation? I mean, think about what it's going to be like when you can enter a stadium full of people again and put your arms around each other and not have to worry about a virus. Think about what it's going to be like when you can go to work and give people high fives and hugs. It's like, go to a movie theater, go to a music concert, whatever. These are things that life has gotten so abundant that we, in a sense, have forgotten how, or lost our connection with appreciating the absolute abundance we have. And so we've been asking for this in our own way. Also, I'm sure each one of you on this call has been in some way praying or asking or intending to go to the next level, become stronger, feel more love, enjoy yourself more, love or like yourself more. And this is your opportunity. So what's happening right now is, as much as there are people dying and there are people sick and the financial challenges are very real, this is bringing us together in whole new ways. And I don't know what else would have, caused the war to grind to a halt, and for people to, crave being together like they really are right now. So, how to deal with fear, how to harness fear. What is fear? So, yeah, I'm just going to mute you, Doug. Glad you're on. Doug, if you want to share anything, you can unmute. Fear is many ways to look at it. Eddie called it everyday motivation. I would highly recommend, and I'm going to do that myself, taking that on. It really is, it is true if you believe it. All things are true. Think of fear as an acronym, FEAR. Could be fuck everything and run, or it could be face everything and rise. They're both true. The question is, which one is going to be true for you? There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of discomfort right now, and I like to put things in perspective. So there are no ways around it. You guys, all of us are going to make decisions, and key decisions. Supposedly we make like 60,000 decisions in a day. We make a lot of decisions. I know for me and the people that I've been in contact with, I would imagine for you guys as well, that there are some very real decisions on the table. And you've likely made a few in the last few days in terms of what you're going to do, how you're going to prepare, how you're going to deal with this time of change. How do you make those decisions? If your decisions are based on fear and logic, then your decisions are going to be based on survival. Nothing wrong with that. We all want to survive this. The challenge with that is it's based on our brain, which is designed for survival, which will put us in reaction. And why that's a challenge is it will be our radar, and we'll focus on and see everything that's not working or scary or uncomfortable or wrong, and things that we want to avoid. This is a time to notice how much you're living in reaction versus creation. And notice in the, same word, same letters in those two words, reaction and creation. The difference is that in creation, the seeing comes first. I feel like I'm back on Sesame Street here. But words are powerful. Language is powerful. Focus is everything. Wherever your attention is going, that's what you're going to be creating and amplifying. So back to the perspective. You're going to make a decision. You're making decisions right now. Actually, in fact, you're making 3 decisions in every single moment. So first decision is, what am I going to focus on? Second decision is, what does it mean? And the third decision is, what am I going to do about it? And not doing something about it is the same. It's just a different form of action. You can't get around the fact that we're making decisions in every moment. So, are you going to F everything and run? Or are you going to face everything and rise? The only reason I feel so alive and resourceful right now is because I've decided to face and welcome fear and discomfort. Now, here's the thing. I want you to take a moment and think about a big decision that's on the table for you right now. What's a big decision that you're trying to make? Definitely, if someone wants to jump on and share one, that could be great too, just to give a real example. What's a big decision that you're looking to make right now? You guys got any? We got a bunch of gladiators on this call.
Well, for the past month or so, I've been wondering whether or not it's time to think about moving to a different city.
Okay. Okay. And why is this a challenging decision for you?
I have a good career. I'm comfortable. I'm close to my family and friends. I have my support group around me, and I'm there for them when they need me. So it's kind of a good place for me emotionally. But career-wise, I feel like I might be a little bit limited, and relationship-wise as well on the romantic side. So.
Okay. And you said that the reason you're here on this call is to go to the next level, your personal growth. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Notice that in all of the things that you said, they all sound really good and part of a very rich and comfortable life where you are. What you didn't mention is the one most important thing for you right now, the reason that you're on this call. Where's the most growth for you?
Where's the most growth?
And as you consider that question, I want to, there's a couple times I wanted to mention this. This is a great time. So think about your decisions as a fork in your path, your life path. And all things are possible. And that no matter what decision you make, Kyle, or anyone else listening to this call, talking to myself as well right now, no matter what decision you make, either path, the shit's going to hit the fan. Either way, it's going to be uncomfortable. And think about this too. I don't know what point you're at in this decision, whether it's getting like more pressing for you. But a great question to ask, you know, if you're looking at being comfortable, I love comfort. Don't get me wrong. Comfort it's what we strive for. We want to be comfortable in our own skin. We want to be comfortable with the people around us. We want to be comfortable in our life. Comfort's great. But if we stay stuck in comfort, then we miss the growth and we miss out on the energy that's available in life. Anyone who hits the gym knows what I mean. It's like you come out of there, you feel like a freaking superhero. But it isn't the most comfortable thing, especially when you get started training your body. So think about this, Kyle. If you don't make this decision, and I don't know what the right decision is for you, but this question right here could give you the answer. And for anyone else listening, think about your decision that you're looking to make in your life. And if you don't make the decision for change, if you don't make the decision that's seemingly uncomfortable, then how much discomfort will you feel in the long term? So Kyle, if you don't decide to move, then how much discomfort will that cause you in the long run?
Both decisions could lead to some form of discomfort, but
they are. This exact
one form of,
no matter what way you go, there's going to be discomfort.
Exactly, but one of the forms of discomfort kind of excites me a little bit.
Okay. Okay, cool. Exciting and scary.
Yeah.
What an amazing combination. That's the magic button right there. That's the hero's journey. That's growth, ascension, life happening in us, excitement and fear. That's when I know that I'm on the right path. But there's an even, like, that's a confirmation right there, Kyle. I don't even know what scenario you're referring to. But excitement and fear, that's a really good confirmation. We'll touch on an even deeper way to get your answer on this call. But right there, that's a really good sign. Have you ever made a decision from what's a time when you made a decision from excitement and fear? Everyone on this call, think of a time when you made a decision where you were excited and it was kind of scary too. How did that work out for you? For myself, anytime I've made that decision, I get so much energy. I just feel it in all my body. And what more do we want than energy? And this is where the growth happens. In fact, it's like a test of faith. Can I have enough faith in life and the way that life works to trust when something is both exciting and scary? And every time I do, it works out not only in really good ways, but beyond what I could have imagined.
Yo, Brodie, so during our travels, we talked about adding value to yourself so that you can increase your position within an organization or have the leverage enough to take a step and go for something bigger. And we had talked about that for over our first year. And 2 years ago, I made that decision. We haven't connected in a long time. And there was a lot of fear because I've been at my job for 15 years. And I gave them a business plan in February and they didn't do anything for a good 4 months. And so it came to a point where I said, okay, I had to make a decision on whether I was going to go for this position because the industry is real small and people talk, and I wanted to make sure that I did the right thing. So it took me a good probably 48 hours of contemplating, soul searching, and thinking about fear to go in and talk to my boss and let him know that I was going to go talk for an interview. And that process went through my mind, right? Certainty. You have a job, you have comfort, you have, money in the bank, you have food on the table, you have a roof over your head, you have all these things to be grateful for. And at the same time, knowing your potential and knowing your growth, it was pretty scary. And to the point where I came in and I had to take a few breaths and stepped in and just said, I'm a man of my honor. I told you that if I was going to go anywhere, I would step up and let you guys know before it even happened, and made the decision and went for the interview and got hired. And it was probably once you make that decision to step through and after you're done doing it, there's more of a peace and a calm and a resilience within yourself that you don't really realize that you have. It's almost like that when you drive up in the morning or you're going to your office, you take that break where you turn the car off and there's nothing but silence and maybe some bird chirping or just that normal buzz of noise, that kind of feeling. Nice. And it's, that's stepping into fear is the most difficult thing. But once you jump through it, and each time that you jump through it, I think there's more of a sense of an action or decision making that you can make yourself.
100%. Yeah. And there's a couple thank you, Gabe. There's a couple of powerful things that stood out to me in there. Is you made a declaration and a decision before you even got accepted to that job, right? You told these people you were going to show up. And sometimes that's the greatest gift we can give ourselves, is to take a moment, stand in our truth before we even have to make the decision, and be accountable to ourselves first and foremost, and to the people around us and make a declaration of how you're going to show up, how you're going to contribute, what they can expect from you. And that sometimes is the anchor that pulls us through when we have a way out later, when it becomes real. Make a declaration to yourself and the people around you. What are you committed to? That can pull you through when it gets scary. It does get scary. And absolutely, those moments of peace, Gabe, like, I do have enough challenges in my life, just like you. We're all human. And I've found and developed a relationship with fear where I bring in even more challenges on top of that. Last winter, I did a cold water challenge where...
Yeah, you're crazy.
That's a compliment. Thank you.
That's freaking insane.
Well, every week last winter up in British Columbia, Canada, with the glacial fed lake right around freezing temperature, I went for a swim for 18 weeks in a row, and minimum 30 seconds up to about 3.5 minutes each time. And yeah, I'm telling myself, what are you doing? You're crazy. Like, it's cold out, it's windy, it's stormy. You're looking out at the lake and it's just raging, ice caps of freezing cold water. But there's every single time there's a point after I get out of the water where everything in me settles. All the nervousness, all the anxiety, all the stress, all the tension, it all just relaxes, just like you're talking about there, Gabe, of, the birds chirping and that sense of peace. It's worth it. And when you step into fear enough with the ability to know what fear to step into and what, how to make those decisions, how to identify that sense of peace, inner peace, self-respect, self-appreciation, and a sense of being guided starts to become very, very real. What's most present for me right now in my life is this deepening sense of, wow, I am a creator. I am creating these things, and getting intentional about that for what exactly I'm here to create. Okay, so I'm going to share one other key piece. This one key piece here could make the difference for you from living in fear versus living in faith or freedom. So we have a very real crisis, global crisis on our hands. It's a great example to learn from. The question is, what's the meaning that you're giving the crisis that we're in today? I'll even take the word crisis off of it. What's the meaning that you're giving to the coronavirus situation? What's the meaning, whether you've thought of it consciously or not? You've been ruminating on it these past few days. What does it mean to you? Is it the end of the world? Is this something that you can't get past seeing going on forever, permanent? Is this the time where, it's like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't turn off the internet, and, you're going to catch up on your shows and just be in isolation and try to stay sane? Or is this a time where you're going to go inward, fuel yourself, reevaluate, take stock, make some empowered decisions, get in great shape? You don't need the gym to get in great shape. A time when you're going to serve, a time when you're going to show up for yourself and the people around you, a time when you're going to write your book, a time when you're going to start, writing poetry, making music. Maybe it's a great time to get to know the neighbors. Maybe it's a great time to do some volunteer work for homeless people or elders who are really in need right now, where you could drop off some of your extra rolls of toilet paper. Let me just bring it back to the question though. What's the meaning you've been giving to it? Let's just get a couple shares. Get it on the table. And I'll open up the chat. There's a chat window and a chat option at the bottom. If you guys want to throw that in the chat, or share, what have you been giving? What's the meaning you've been giving to coronavirus? And I'll just share for myself, this is the time, you probably picked it up from me already, but this is a time of preparation. It's a time of, it's confirmation for me, paying attention to the signs, you know, and following my inner guidance. And the confirmations are huge, that this is a time where I'm meant to serve. And it's a time where I'm meant to expand my capacity as a leader and a lover and a father and as a friend and as a human being on this planet, to be able to show up. This is all a gift. What's the meaning you've been giving to it? You have to identify that. Good or bad, right or wrong, positive, negative, dark or light. What's the meaning?
For me, it's simplicity. Getting back to the basics and, you know, reaching out to family members to make sure that they're okay. You know, there's opportunities to connect with friends on a different level. There's an opportunity to express yourself via social media. You know, it actually forces everybody to be on social media. So what greater tool than to utilize that as a forum or a platform to serve or to give back positivity. And you know, I look at it as, you know, everyone jokes about it. There's so many memes, there's so many other things. And then in light of it, you know, when you think of all the people that have gotten sick and the deaths, and you look back at all the other flus that we've had, yeah, it's growing in numbers. At the same time, like, you know, it humbles yourself to figure out, like, yeah, life is super important. Your life is a gift, and giving back to people just fills your heart up. And, you know, a lot of people don't like to do that because they avoid it, and they're looking for that. I think they're looking for that right now more than anything, as things get more serious.
Yeah. Fantastic. So simplicity, a time to express yourself, and more. Thank you, Gabe. Beautiful. So those are empowering meanings. There's many people right now, or the meaning that they're giving it is, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of food. Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? Oh my gosh, this means da 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 da, on and on and on, in fear. You've prepared, Gabe. You've done the work. You're doing the work. We can all start right now if we've been just living in a comfort zone bubble. This now is the only time that we actually have. It is a time to notice, is the meaning that you've been giving your situation, our situation, empowering or disempowering? What I'll say too is that meaning will derive, it's a result of our core beliefs. So let me ask you, Gabe, what's a core belief you have that allows you to see this time as and what it means as an opportunity for simplicity and to express yourself? What do you need to believe to make and find this meaning?
So for me, it was more of finding myself and loving myself and knowing that I am enough to know that I don't have to worry about people judging me, so that I can have the confidence to speak out no matter what kind of reaction or judgment that you get upon you. Right? I think doing the work internally is so important to make sure that you can empower yourself. You know, loving yourself and knowing that you're enough and knowing that you can step up and be present in the moment is key. Like, let go of the ego. It's not about that. It's not about the pat on the back. It's more of, you know, to get back to simplicity is actually gets back to the core work of that I've done, you know, ever since we started back in, you know, February 25th, 2016. So,
wow, that's awesome. So I found a few core beliefs under there. One, I am enough. The one that really stood out for me is I can be present in the moment. A lot of us don't know this. A lot of us, when we think about the moment when we're going to need to be most present, we see ourselves failing. We see ourselves faltering. And this is a very real situation. I've been focused on my own inner growth very intentionally for several years. And in the early years, and it still happens because I still put myself in situations that are beyond my previous capacity. But especially in the beginning, I found myself in situations where I did falter, and it was really uncomfortable. But those times stretched me, like being put in a leadership role and not being able to, just getting overwhelmed by it. In my 20s, that was a situation, and it was a formative situation that really showed me how much I want to be able to show up and, like you said, be present in the moment when I am needed, when my presence is and can be a gift. And it takes practice, and it's so worth it. The one thing, we as entrepreneurs need to get really comfortable with, and I'd say this goes into life, is being comfortable with failure. That failure is an opportunity to learn and grow, not to be ashamed, not to prove that we weren't enough. But these beliefs are largely going to come from what action you're willing to take. Because action that's how we gain proof. We can do all the affirmations and meditations and incantations we want to shift our inner beliefs, and that helps. But it's really once we take action and we see the results and we find that, wow, life is here giving me fear so that I can grow, so that I can trust in something bigger than myself, and at the same time learn to appreciate who I am and how vulnerable I'm willing to be and how I'm willing to step up and lead myself and serve those around me. And the more action that you take based on empowering core beliefs, the more you will find those to be true. I really believe that that's the way we shift our core beliefs, is believing in them and enough, and having faith in them enough to take action on them. Okay, so there are a couple of things I've mentioned so far that could be something that you could take from this call to transform fear into fuel. One is recognizing that you're making decisions, and that no matter which path you choose, there is discomfort. And it's a pattern that at times where we're shaken up and we know that we need to grow and we're scrambling for certainty, usually the comfort path is the least comfortable. I'll say it in a different way. Usually in times of change and transformation, you prayed for this time. You asked for growth. Maybe you've been uncomfortable in some way, but you asked for this, and it's here. And I guarantee you that if you choose the comfortable path, it's going to be most uncomfortable. The opposite is identifying excitement and fear as an indicator of the way forward. That's where the energy is. That's where your beliefs are going to become even more empowered. This is where you're going to grow. And neither one is comfortable. It's just amazing how we focus on how uncomfortable that exciting and fearful path is going to be, when you really look at not making the decision and following your truth, that's pain. The other one is looking at meaning. What's the meaning that you're giving it? That alone can free you. When you identify, I truly believe that all transformation starts with awareness, becoming aware, getting curious, listening within, and asking yourself, what's the meaning I've been giving this situation? And is that meaning empowering or disempowering? Does it create does it create fear, or does it create fuel, freedom, faith? That right there can shift it. And then if you identify that's either empowering or disempowering, to ask yourself, what do I need to believe to make it mean this? So for Gabe, the meaning of this time is an opportunity for simplicity, to find new ways to express ourselves online and create connection with the people around us. In order to have that empowering meaning, he has some core beliefs. One, that he's enough. Secondly, that he can be present in the moment, and he's proven that to himself. You can hear it in his stories, in his shares. What do you need to believe? Find the meaning that you're giving it. Okay, let me just gonna mute someone. Okay. I want to give you guys the biggest gift that I can give you on this call, and it's how I make all my big decisions, and it goes beyond logic and fear and love, and it goes into being guided. I don't subscribe to any specific religion. I'm certainly, I would call myself a spiritual person. I believe that there's much more going on here than we see at firsthand, physically, and, the box life that we create where we go to work and we come home and all that. There's a dynamic interplay of energy and constellations and realities that we operate in that are much more complex than the physical world. And I don't think that we need to believe in any specific God to find a faith. For me, and for everyone, ultimately, we want to be able to find a way to make sense of life. We want to find a way to make sense of this virus and the situation that we're in. That's where we come to our meaning. Super important whether that meaning is empowering or disempowering for you, because that will ripple out to all the people around you. This is an opportunity for massive world change and transformation, where we can come back into appreciating our time and our connection and our work and, time together and all of those things. So finding faith is, in a sense, how do you make sense of the world? And what's a way that you can make sense of it that brings you peace and energy and fuel for your mission and your growth? For me, I had to be completely taken out, literally went unconscious. This is about 20 years ago when I really faced, at a fulcrum point in my own journey, a breakdown of rules and beliefs that just didn't function anymore. And when I came back from that experience, that's where I realized, wow, everything I believed before is no longer true. And it hit me that this is where, if any time in my life, I would choose religion, because all my beliefs and certainty have been stripped away. And what I ended up coming to was, in that journey, I decided for myself, I do believe in a higher power. I believe in an underlying infinite power that we're all a part of. And what I came to, and that was that I'm going to find this for myself, and I can learn from different religions and faiths, and I'm going to walk my path. And what I realized in that moment was that everything that I believed previous to that moment to be true, I no longer had certainty in. And I realized that for the rest of my life, I would come to these points of certainty where I would feel like I knew again. And just like before that moment, that would be stripped away. And it has, over and over again. I think I know. I think I have the answer. And then I learn more or have an experience, and it all changes. And I realize that I actually had no clue. So my faith comes from, I would say, number one, paying attention to the patterns of life, the way that life works. It's counter logical that fear can be fuel. It's counter logical that our challenges are actually our greatest gifts and opportunity in disguise. And it takes us, it seems, pushing against that until a point where we have to surrender to, this is life, giving us the gift and the growth that we literally prayed for. The other thing that gives me certainty is the opposite of certainty, counterintuitively as well. So basically, what gives me faith is not knowing, embracing the mystery. What that opens up for me is more curiosity. I don't have to find the right or the wrong answer. I just need to be curious and listen and constantly discover what's true. What that also does is it brings me into the present moment. And as we know, the present is the gift. So let's talk a little bit about how to make these decisions. So here's what I'd say. And if one of you would be willing to, maybe Kyle, if you're open to it, would you be willing to be an example for this exercise with the decision you're looking to make?
Sure.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so for everyone on this call, take a moment, think about the decision that a big decision you're looking to make in your life right now. Maybe it's, should I go to the grocery store this evening? Should I hug the person that I love when they come home with this whole coronavirus thing? Should I make this move or not? So Kyle, you've got a very real situation. What I'd ask is, and everyone on this call, I want you to physically, and just, it doesn't have to be perfect, just trust yourself, trust your body to face in the direction of one of those decisions. So we'll go through 3 different decisions. I want you to pick one of those decisions now. Kyle, have you got one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, great. So each of you face in the direction of making that decision. Just trust your body. Let me know when you're there, Kyle. And for everyone on this call, you actually want to get up and face in a direction. This is an opportunity to just, you're going to be tuning into your own inner guidance is what we're doing here. The other thing I'd say is once you're facing them in that direction, just bring your body, take a couple breaths. You're not pumping yourself up here or anything. You're bringing yourself to a neutral posture, just neutral, relaxed breathing. What you want to do is you want to be able to read the response, the physical response that your body gives you, which will be in the form of tension or relaxation. So take a couple nice deep breaths, shake your shoulders out, bring yourself to a neutral posture, just neutral breathing, facing the direction of this one decision. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to see yourself, imagine yourself making that decision. Actually see yourself in your mind's eye making this decision. See yourself making that decision, and now see yourself walking that path, having made this decision. And as you do, notice what's the physical response in your physical body, tension or relaxation. What do you notice?
Tension.
Okay, where do you feel it?
In my chest.
Okay. Do you notice anything else?
A little bit of tingling in my fingers.
Okay. Okay, great. So shake your body out, everyone. Take a couple nice deep breaths. And we're going to face in another direction now. So think about what's another decision, another option that you could make in regards to this decision. Have you got one, Kyle?
Yep.
Okay, great. Now facing in that direction, just let your body guide you. Take a couple nice deep breaths, bringing yourself to neutral breathing, neutral posture, so you can get a read your body, this is called kinesiology, muscle testing. Your body will give you a yes or no answer. I call it inner guidance. Okay, facing in that direction, close your eyes, see yourself making that decision, this other decision. Imagine yourself making that decision, see it now in your mind's eye. And now see yourself walking that path, this path. And notice your body's physical response, tension or relaxation. What do you notice, Kyle?
Much more relaxation. No tension, no tingling. Actually, my brow, my eyes feel less strained.
Great. Thank you, body. Your body is connected to your unconscious.
So it's weird. It's weird because it's not the answer that I expected at all.
This is way beyond logic. It's even beyond love. This is your unconscious, which is a super computer that's connected to everything. Just, a quick reference for that. Our conscious thinking can process 134 bits of information per second. It's a microprocessor, 134 bits. Our unconscious or our super conscious brain can process, 4 million bits of information per second. So instead of using logic, instead of trying to think things through and figure out, this is you tapping into your supercomputer that's connected to everything. I believe the mind is a field that connects us all. This connects us to that super conscious mind. It's not always going to make sense. Otherwise, it would be super easy to figure stuff out, but it's not. Okay, so let's find one more option. I love this one because most people will put themselves in a dilemma. It's either or, this or that, and that can be really challenging because it's not actually choice. Choice is when we have 3 options or more, and it's a great opportunity to get creative as well, because creativity is part of being resourceful, finding a way when there are no others that you can see. I was just talking with a client about this earlier. Finding ways to be creative at this time when we're all in our homes, a lot of us on our own. Okay, so Kyle, you got a third option?
I do.
Fantastic. Okay, and for anyone struggling to find a third option, one thing you could do, doesn't even have to make sense. Think of something fun or ridiculous. This is an option. Like, what's something that would be completely ridiculous in regards to the decision you're looking to make? Just throw it on the table, even just to give yourself choice. Or one thing I like to do is explore what would it be like if I combined my 2 decisions, even though they were opposed to each other. What if they could work together? Just some creative ways to come up with a third option. Or maybe there's very logically just another third option on the table. Okay. So turn your body facing in the direction of this new decision, this new path, this other option. Take a couple breaths. Let go of any tension in your body. Just let yourself come to neutral posture, neutral breathing, nice and relaxed. Close your eyes. And now imagine see yourself in your mind's eye making this decision. Actually see yourself making the decision. And now once you've made the decision, see yourself walking this path. And notice your body. How does your body respond physically, with tension or relaxation? What do you notice, Kyle?
Tension. The tension in the eyebrows and the temples is back.
Okay. Okay. So I'll hand it over to you. You've had 3 different experiences, Kyle, here. 3 different options What's your experience here? What just happened for you? What do you notice? I don't want to put too much of my own explanation on it. I want to kind of get your response to what you just experienced.
It's funny because the two options in which I felt a little bit of tension in my body, in my brow, and in my chest, I had a harder time visualizing them. I had a harder time visualizing myself making those choices and walking those paths. It was kind of like a struggle to create that vision. But the option where I had no tension, the vision was clear, the path was open. It just kind of flowed naturally to my mind's eye, and it was, to be honest, it's not the choice that I thought I would want to make. So it was kind of strange feeling.
Do you okay, so it's not the choice that you thought you wanted to make. We'll all confront this. Logic will kick in. Logic's great, I would say, as a sort of extra confirmation, not as the leading way to make these big decisions. So have you made your decision, Kyle, based on this exercise? Where are you at, honestly?
Yeah, I have. I mean, so you said logic is a great decider, is a good way, a good confirmation of the decision, but I could see a logic to both the first two options I had, and it just kind of confirms the logic of the second path. It kind of reinforces it to me, because I was really teetering on the edge of both options, but I thought that one seemed more uncomfortable. I had more discomfort about it, that it could be a bit more challenging.
Okay.
Yet there's still discomfort and challenge with the choice that my body was more relaxed with, and just I still see a lot of growth and potential in that path. So it was kind of like, just because there's more discomfort in another path doesn't mean it's necessarily the right one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if we were basing all our decisions on whether it's going to be comfortable or not, we'd still be screwed because we just don't even know. So what's the decision you made, if you feel like sharing?
Well, I was trying to decide whether to look for another job with a different company in my industry, and just look for advancement in and potentially different avenues to which I could provide some good value to the company. And then the third decision was screw it all and find a completely different career path.
Okay.
And the decision that my body felt best with was sticking with the current company and trying to provide value in different ways.
That's awesome. Okay. Beautiful. So this is a present moment decision. You fully tuned in to the present moment. You got curious. You listened deeply within yourself. You didn't even have to go out and do any research or anything. You know unconsciously what the decision is. Again, it's a present moment decision. These kinds of things, in my experience, they're lasting, but sometimes things shift. And you might want to check in with this, a week, a month down the road. It might change. We don't know. Literally, what this does is it gives you the answer in the moment. And I really want to thank you, Kyle, for going through this exercise and being an example for the other people. Did anyone else get some value from this exercise, or not? Like, definitely, if you have a question or it didn't work for you, let me know.
Well, my third decision was to travel.
Sound fired up about that.
I'm like, for me, it was investing money, and it was like either the risky side of it, of jumping into the stock market right now where you can buy a Ferrari at a gremlin price, and then, or staying conservative and putting it into a money market fund where you don't have to worry about it, where there's a consistent, the return on investment is stable, or make a decision to go on vacation and reward myself or to celebrate life and go experience something that I haven't never experienced before.
Awesome. And do you feel like you made the decision? Did this help?
I want to do all three.
That's awesome. So you went for the combo.
It's hard.
Isn't that a great option?
Yeah.
All right. Amazing, you guys. Okay. So this is the other way in terms of turning fear into fuel. One, recognizing that, like Eddie said, fear is daily motivation. Here's a guy that just, built his business to $6 million in a year. Like, this is a guy who trusted his own guidance and immigrated from another country to come and follow his dream. And when we started, there was definitely fear present, and he has built a great company. What's even more powerful is he's built himself to be a great, great person, super resourceful, and to the point where literally can embrace and work with fear in a positive and a creative way. Being guided and this way of approaching our decisions is really, I'd say, simple and also profound. It helps us, in a sense, think deeper than logic or intellect, to think deeper than emotions, and to tune into our superconscious that is a supercomputer that's connected to the infinite universe and every single cell in our body and our mind and our brain, that will give us a deeper answer. So it's something I discovered on my own and have now, as I'm listening to spiritual teachers or guides or mentors, everyone's teaching this, that, intuition. You're talking about investing, Gabe, and, or investing in a business. You'll hear people over and over say, they trusted their gut. At the end, they trusted their gut. So we're going to wrap this up. I hope you guys, it sounds like you got some value from this. I'd love to hear in the chat, what's the best thing you got from our call today? There's a chat button at the bottom of the window. Click on that. I'm going to throw a link in here. So I mentioned at the beginning, we're running our Facing Dragons Kickstarter. This is my mission. I truly believe that games are going to change the world and empower the next generation of leaders, and I want to be part of that change. It's why I've chosen, not being a gamer myself, to surround myself with some amazing, amazing and talented gamers. And we're developing a game that will literally empower the people who play it. This is a game that you are the player in the game. Your phone or whatever device you're playing this game on is going to be a portal into the dragon world where you're going to meet and face your dragons. The dragons represent the 8 key areas of life: mind, mission, vitality, wealth, connection, all of these, love, these key areas of our life, home. And so this game is what I've chosen to put my time and energy into, because I believe it can create the change better than anything else I've found. So I put the link there in the chat. I'll do a quick screen share. Again, would love to hear from you guys. What's the best thing you got from our call today? Let's see. Okay, so sharing right now the Kickstarter page. So it's Facing Dragons, a mixed reality game to unlock your purpose. Our focus is helping people find their mission, work that's meaningful to them, and to unlock their true potential, who they really are. And you can see it's a mental health game. So we all have a brain. We all have fear. We all have different quirks and kinks. And what our game is designed to do is to help you use those for your growth and explore ways of mindfulness, meditation, and ways to work with your kinks to unlock and live your purpose. What I'd really appreciate from anyone who's on this call, if you have the financial means, is to support us on Kickstarter and support this mission. If you got some value from this call, if you got some value from any time we've worked together in the past or will work together in the future, please support this mission, and I would really, really appreciate that. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. I trust that you guys got some value here, and it's been a super valuable use of my hour. I really appreciate getting to reconnect with you guys. So what's the best thing you got from this call today?
To be reminded to be present and think about simplicity of life.
Awesome, Eddie. Good to hear.
Awesome to see you.
Shouldn't be hard for you to keep it simple these days.
Yes, but we can't attach ourselves too much because we're not in control of that, you know?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, sending out some prayers for you, Eddie, and I hope you feel better soon. And I know you put a lot out this past year. This is a great time to really just take care of yourself, nurture yourself, drink lots of water, and prepare yourself for the next level.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you too. Anyone else want to share what you got from our call here today?
Yeah, I just got so much value from the visualization exercise. And to be honest, it's just totally motivating just to see you again, listen to you talk on a coaching call, and, you know, to hear about all the other people you've worked with who've achieved lots of growth through your mentorship and coaching. I mean, it kind of lights a little fire under my ass again, you know?
Awesome. Dude, you're a legacy and a real inspiration. You inspire me massively, and I know that you, who you are inspires the people in your life. I'm excited for the decision you made here today, and I'd love to hear, you know, how you use this this tool that we worked with. Let's check in a month or so, or sometime in the near future, and continue the journey.
Sounds good.
And use that fire. That's awesome. Gabe says, thanks always for giving back so much insight and stepping into fear. Understanding more to our own intuition, as well as offering an open forum to learn from you and others. I appreciate it, Gabe. And you are the man of many suits, right? You know what I mean. All right, you guys, it's an honor to serve you. Thanks for being part of this call. Thanks for showing up for yourself and the people around you at a time of need and opportunity and massive growth and transformation. I appreciate you immensely. Again, let people know about the Facing Dragons Kickstarter. The link's in the chat. You can look it up on Kickstarter, just search Facing Dragons, and any support is super appreciated. All right, you guys, talk soon. Face your fear, unlock your power, and just be present for yourself and the people around you. Talk soon.